so that people come in because the crew was like, "Yo, we gonna watch, we gonna watch." I was like, "All right, we'll see."
No.
Because
What is
NXT is
going? What? Yeah. We gonna talk about that too. What is going on, everybody? What is up? It is Sunday. It is August the 22nd. Um, this your boy, Prince Blue of Real Time Prince Blue, and man, thank everybody for joining me. Man, listen, I always say when I need something, when I need a show that's going to be a show and that's going to get people listening and it's going to get people to understand where I'm coming from. I reach out to my big bro. I've had him on I had a lot of times. Like I told y'all, this person I'm about to introduce, that's already on the screen. But when I first started doing this, you know what I'm saying? I reached out to him and one of the first things he told me, he was like, listen, I see your style. I love it. You know why I love it? Because that's mine. So I'm gonna let you know if you're gonna do it that way, it's the road less traveled.
It is.
Have fun with it, and it has been. But I want to introduce this guy right here. He's the host of the Event Omega podcast. He's the original OG of Philly sports rage. So all these phonies out here you see doing a certain style,
it's the
it's
blueprint.
this man right here. It's my man, aka main event, aka main event status. What is up, bro?
Nothing. I'm doing good. I mean, I've been drinking, motherfuckers. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's been like this all day, and I'm on my double header right now, so I'm good. No, it's been good. It's good to see you grow. It's good to see everybody doing a thing. I mean, I've seen the people rise. I've seen the snakes in the grass slither. I've seen it all from a distance. I've seen it. You know what I mean? And I just keep telling people, yo, watch that dude, watch this dude, watch that girl, watch this girl. You know what I mean? Like that's all you can do is give direction. And if they don't listen, then hey, that's on them. But I mean, they do their thing. And right now, I mean, everything is everything. I mean, all you can do is just go day. At least I do. I go day by day. That's all I can do. You know what I mean? I can't get too frustrated. Hopefully not. So
You frustrated? Nah,
that's it, man.
not
Yeah,
you.
not me. Not me.
You, man.
Yeah, not me.
Not
No,
you,
no, no.
man. Not you. The funny thing is, when you tweet, I can tell if you're yelling or not in your tweet.
Yeah. You should be able by now to tell me if I'm yelling or if I'm being sarcastic or if I'm being. It should be there. You should be able to tell, and that's why I don't even like this past week or so. I actually took a little bit off of the edge when it comes to tweeting. I was just like, all right, I see this, I see that. I've been really busy, so I mean, for me, it's just like seeing everybody else operate and me not saying nothing. I'm like, this times I'm like, oh, I want to say something, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna keep it quiet. I'm gonna just let it ride, and that's what I do. Instead of saying something, I'm like, let it ride and see where it goes. You know what I mean? It's bold cotton strategy, bold strategy cotton. Let's see where it goes from here, and that's exactly what it does, and that's exactly what I watch. So it's like. And it never plays out well. It never does.
It never does. Well, especially for you and I, because whenever we're trying to be serious, people are like, and when we're being serious, people are like,
Yeah.
So it's like, damn if you do, damn you don't. So I want to start.
Yeah.
I want to start off with that, bro.
Okay.
Like
right.
When you're like right now, what's your main issue with social media? Let's just get it off the bat. What's your main issue with social media right now?
Do you really have the time for that?
Yes, we do.
My main issue with social media is that I'm seeing too many people be fake. I'm seeing too many. I see people that are saying, oh, yeah, support the homies, support this, support that. And then when the time comes, they're not around. I see a lot of people who are really mouthy for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, they like to just start shit, and I don't understand why. Whether it be man or woman, and I'm like, yo, you understand the real world, that'll get you got. What's wrong with you? Like, people have been killed for less, and you talking this. Like, what's wrong with you? And I let it go. You know what I mean? Sometimes people chalk it up to it's just Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, but Twitter will get you hurt too. You have to understand that. And they don't seem to have a very big sense of surroundings of what they're doing at times. I also see that at times there's people who like to dogpile others or bully others, and then when it comes to them, they decide, oh, I'm going to be the victim now. And I'm like, dog, you can't have it both ways. If you're going to dish it, you gotta be able to take it. Well, you know what I mean? So I mean that's the biggest problem I've seen with uh, social media right now, especially, and I'm going to say this, especially when it comes to people who's supposed to be from Philadelphia or in Philadelphia or whatever. I've seen way too much of it, and it's like, yo, y'all supposed to be adults. Y'all supposed to know what's up. Y'all supposed, to, you know what I mean? You know, there's a line that you don't cross, and some of these motherfuckers just run with it. You know what I mean? They run across it. I'm like, yo, chill. Like, you know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, like, there's a lot of people that I feel as though they got to chill on that. And I think that they, because they don't know who they're talking to at times, uh, it can get very serious. And you don't want to see it get that serious. You know what I mean?
No.
Keep it just shooting the shit. You know, okay, I got you. You get me. Ha ha ha. And that's it. That's how it's supposed to be. But then you get these people who decide, you know, they want to take it to the next level. And there's times where if you don't know nobody like that, you really can't go there. Don't call someone's bluff. Don't do that at times, because sometimes like, all right, cool. This is your limit. Now I know your limit. Let's kick the shit now. You know what I mean? And just leave it at that. You know what I mean? But then you have these people who take it too far. And as I've always told people, as you know me, I got a free ring anytime anybody decides they want to settle their score or whatever. I'm like, yo, I'm a third party. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to settle y'all score, I got a free ring for y'all to settle it. You know what I mean? If y'all really feeling that froggy, record it, put it on whatever, you know what I mean? Go with y'all followers and let it go. You know what I mean? Like, but y'all have to understand that some of these things, I understand that there's a gap between, you know, the old school and the new school that came in when it comes to, you know, speaking on things. But some of these people take it too far, I think. And it'll get them hurt. I mean, we just saw just last week, people, when I was at NY, they try to roll up on people. You know what I mean? Because they was talking too much. You know what I mean? On the stream. And they was like, yo, they made the phone call, was like, yo, we pulling up. And they was like, no, ain't that serious. I was like, nah, man, you done pissed off NY. You done pissed off NY now. So it's like, here they come. You know what I mean? Then they want to apologize. And I keep telling people, the apology has to be as loud as the disrespect. It has to be. It has to be.
You know what? I've never heard that before, but that makes so much sense, because you ever see how some people will be super loud and wrong, and then their apology is so lackluster. For instance, when Eagles Karen went at me and said I emailed her and did all this, her apology was so weak compared to how much she was gaslighting everybody else to pile on me. I was like, is this your apology? Are you kidding me?
Now, see, that's something that you really see when you get people like that. I don't know if people are salty or they don't know how to handle that L. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I mean, sometimes people gotta be humble at times, like own up to it. But I just don't understand that if you're gonna be that loud about it, then you also, if you don't have no regrets about it or you're not gonna change your style, well, then guess what? Now you got to ride it out. You got no choice. You got to ride it out.
And some people do double down, and I respect it when some people double down. But my thing is, like you said, when there's levels, and my level has always been everything is fair game except family and loved ones.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. I think I've been around so long to see so many, if you want to call them Twitter beefs or YouTube beefs or whatever. And I do notice that some people will drag other people's personal problems or their families into a beef. I'm not cool with that. Like, if look, if you got a kid or whatever, don't drag that kid. That kid didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't drag other people's family members into something that you're going in. If you really going to be that reckless about it, now it's getting personal. So now it's the noise is called for at this point. So at that point, you've already, if y'all started here and someone takes it here, well, then guess what? The only way to go now is here. Like, that's the next level. That's it. And I don't think a lot of people are ready for that. So that's why I always say, you know what I mean? Like, look, y'all can have y'all back and forth. Y'all can exchange tweets. Y'all can get at each other without going that hard. But once the invite is out there, that's it. You either going to fold or you're going to ride. And you will realize real quickly who's going to ride for you, who's going to make excuses. And whoever makes the first excuse, that's the one you cut off. That's the one you show. I mean, that's experience talking right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know. You know who's going to ride and who's not. And I just feel as though I think that it doesn't need to be that way. You can always be a shit stirrer if you want to. You can always make your jokes if you want to. There's always a lane for it. But once you cross that lane, you switch lanes, you cross that path. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. Before you know, I've been to where the point where people was talking about, oh, we gonna shoot you and this and that. And I'm like, damn, for my sports opinions. But, damn, really? You want to shoot me for that shit? Like, we know where you live. We gonna shoot you. Blah blah blah. Not once did I had to call anybody. Not once did I had to. Hey yo, you know, not once. You know what I mean?
I remember them old YouTube streams.
Old
just
YouTube,
you
man,
just saying, "Hey, we won the game, but I didn't like the way X, Y, and Z." Man, fuck you, main event. Yo, you some square ass crab.
Let me tell y'all something. All right, when I came on the scene, all right, everyone else was kissing the Eagles' ass. I mean, kissing ass. I mean, you might as well just rip their lips off and just stuck them to their ass. I mean, we saw dudes putting up videos. Kevin Cole was my boy. I'm like, yo, he ain't your boy. What the fuck you mean you ain't never met him? What the fuck you mean he your boy? Stop. Let's stop all this noise. Stop all that. You have to understand that actually having an actual, can I put this, a fair and balanced view of things, you can still root for the team, but still be critical. That wasn't known back then. That wasn't known. And a lot of the people back then that everyone loves now, they were in the same boat. They didn't like that either. They were kissing ass just as much. So challenges had to be laid out. Now, for those who don't understand what I mean about challenges, it wasn't just straight up, oh, we're going to fight, whatever. I was like, nah, let's do it in a sports sense. Let's make it fun. One-on-one basketball or one-on-one football with a steady quarterback or something like that. We make it fun. It doesn't always have to be about violence and hurting people. But nah, like you said, they took it to that level. Before you knew it, it was, you ain't nothing but this. I'm going to drop the N-word on you. And some of your favorite people, they was in there with it too. I'm letting you know that now.
I remember when you used to do your streams, and you was one of the first that would absolutely call out the mainstream media locally and nationally, but you focused on locally because that's where we are.
Because our mainstream media here is a joke. That's why.
Because number one, it's not about the story anymore, and they're not writing for the fans. I don't care what they say. No, you got a few here and there. It's all about the drama. Everybody want to be TMZ Sports, and with the media here, I've noticed they love to flash their blue badge around, their credentials around, but I'm not seeing a lot of substance. Right. I'm seeing people in the chat with more insight, more info, more analytical skills than the people that's supposedly supposed to be around the game and around the team.
Let me explain. All right. First off, they don't represent the city. All right. They represent themselves. I've never seen any of them down here in the city trying to talk to the people, trying to get, fan reviews. The people in the inner city have their own opinions. They don't need radio. They've made that very well known, especially if you go from hood to hood. They made it very well known. They don't need that. There's times where basketball games or football games will be on, and people are still outside like, so what? I'm playing my own football game right now. We got enough people out here on the field. They're playing their own game. They got their own sports going on. They can just catch up on a recap later. That's how ingrained a lot of these neighborhoods are within sports. When it came to, and I put this is probably as nicely as possible, when I went to go meet Mike Missinelli and them, all right, when I was invited to the radio station, I talked to them. These dudes, the way they act on Twitter is nowhere close to how they act when you're in their face. Everything is sit up, prop, tight, and how you doing, sir? And how like they are very, very nice when you're in your face. That's why when me and Mike Missinelli got into it on Twitter, I was like, he was talking all this shit. I know more black people than you. I was like, yo, you didn't say that shit when you was to my face, though. You said shit to my face. You know what I mean? And then, I'm going to block him. That's what he did. That's what they do. That's what they do. It's like you have to remind them very quickly of what's going on. You know what I mean? And I had to deal with that with a lot of them. So, like I said, when I started noticing things and when they brought me in, they was telling me, we got to change the guard. We got to get the old guys out of here. We got to make sure that we get a fresh take on things. You know what I mean? We're trying to bring in new blood. So that was the plan. That's what I was told. That was the plan. Of course, The old guard, of course, they're not gonna like that
They
shit.
ain't trying to hear that shit.
They ain't trying to hear that shit. Of course not.
They ain't trying to hear shit. And honestly, to be truthful, main event, the people that's trying to get quote unquote new blood, they're okay with it until that real heat comes. And I'm a first believer of that because you already know the story. I had Last Out Media come to me and tell me, hey, you gonna be the flagship. We gonna ride with you. We love what you do. We love what you say. We love here and there. We gonna ride with you. As soon as that heat came,
they ducked. And that's what I mean. When the situation occurs, when the heat comes, who's there to ride for you? Who's gonna make excuses? Last Out Media made excuses. That's what they did. So right there, they hurt themselves. They shot themselves in their foot. That's what they did. So that should tell you right there, all right, they're not real. I'm not fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? It goes to show you when it comes down to this, you're still doing good right now. You know what I mean? With your was it with your partner?
Black and Blue Lives.
Yeah, Black and Blue Lives. Yeah, you're still doing good. You're getting coverage with the news media and all that. I guarantee you, with all that positive press, I mean, Last Out Media looking at themselves like, yo, what the fuck did we do? What did we do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did you give up?
And I haven't changed anything. I'm still myself. I still say what I want. I still say how I feel.
It's the
I haven't changed one thing.
I cannot tell you how many people I had from CSN at the time. All right, at the time, come to me and say, "Hey, yo, we love what you're saying. It's just we can't say it even though we agree because we're on TV. We can't say the things that you say even though we agree." I can't tell you how many times Marshall Harris tapped me on that. You know what I mean? I was just like, okay, you know what I mean? So it goes to show you that you can make a difference when it comes to this. But the question is, where do you go from there? When you're at this level, what's going to take you to the next level? And it's not just about, we can just sit here and we can talk about, more sports or whatever. No, what the first thing I went to was, all right, now that the spotlight is here and I can share this, what about the inner city neighborhoods? Look at all the kids that need that.
I want you to talk about that, bro, because you've been behind the scenes trying to make a lot of things going on in your community. And I want for people that's listening, maybe abroad and not just in Philly, when you're trying to go behind the scenes and do things for your community and they are stonewalling you and blocking you, but they want to keep the drama going. Speak on that, how frustrating that is when you're trying to make change and the people in positions really don't want to change.
They don't want to change. Like I said, just not too long ago, last week or so, I had to go to a meeting and I gave by the numbers on how you can actually change the system by the numbers. And when I was done with the presentation, they said, well, that's good and all, but how are we going to afford this? And I wanted to just leap out of my soul just wanted to leap out of my body and slap the shit out of him because I'm like, I just gave you the numbers. I just gave it to you. I've worked with the Philadelphia Parks and Rec. I tried to work with a lot of different, city officials. I remember a couple of years ago, I believe it was Jordan Harris. We had a phone conversation about changing things about recreations for basketball courts and stuff like that. And he was like, all right, well, how are you going to pay for it? And then when I started telling him about it, he was like, no, we're not going to do that, being pretty much banged on me. Then about 5 months later, he did it himself. And the Parks and Rec was like, oh my God, this is so great. No one's ever done this. I was like, hold the fuck up. I went at the Parks and Rec. I made a video about it. Jordan Harris, he stayed quiet. But the Parks and Rec was like, you'll have to talk to, the advisors of all this. And then when I talked to the advisors on the phone, because I said on the video, I was like, yo, I will call them right now, your advisors right now, and let them know what's going on. And they smoothed that shit out. It was like, that's our fault. That's, you know what I mean? We didn't mean it that way. We didn't mean to step on your toes in anything you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, but you still gave him the dap. You still gave it to him. He didn't come up with it. He took plan A, but don't have plans B through Z to get through it or any contingencies. I'm like, and that's what I planned for. Last week, there was a 15-year-old girl here who was shot twice in the head playing at the basketball court? Come on, man. Like when you bring this stuff to these officials, they don't care. The mayor has already made it known. He went on record and was like, I'm not going to do anything about the violence that's been going on throughout the city.
In so many words.
Yeah, in so many words. What the fuck you here for?
Figurehead.
He don't care.
That's it. And you know what? It's so weird because around in a lot of communities, you got a lot of people like yourself and others that are doing great things in the community. You're seeing those stories very, very far between, but the yellow tape, the white sheets around bodies, those are around the clock,
they're around the clock.
24/7.
And that's the thing. It doesn't eat on their conscience as much as it eats on my conscience. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting here with a stack like this, telling you how to save this shit, and someone's getting killed. I feel that it's on my watch. If you'd have listened, that could have been prevented possibly. They don't see it that way. They was like, oh, it's just another person. I don't see it that way. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, yo, you can be saving lives with this shit if you just listen. But like I said, just was it a week and a half ago, the DA decided to put it all, they put together like a team of teenagers. And they asked them, what do you want to see changed in Philadelphia? And I swear, if you'd have watched that video, they all looked at each other like, what the fuck are we supposed to say? What are we supposed to say? I don't know what we're supposed to do. You can't just ask teenagers on the fly and then throw the camera in front of them what they supposed to do. They don't know. They don't have no plans. They don't know. You didn't set them up for success that way. You just used them as a prop. They're not thinking
past 2K. Like, I don't understand. Like, now there's some teenagers out there that's really trying to make change, but your majority run-of-the-mill teenager, man, they out here hooping. They out here trying to survive. Some of them taking care of their families. Yeah. But you want to put them in front of a DA and throw a camera in their face and ask them how to change the world.
What's the solution? And they'd be like, I don't know what you want me to say. And they'd be like, well, we're just going to document this that we tried. That's what it feels like. And of course, the news, when they show it, they only give you like 5, maybe 10 seconds of that segment. They don't show you everything, which is why I hate watching news. Jesus Christ, I hate watching it. But yeah, I mean, there's kids here I see, they're riding, motorcycles, ATVs. Cops are chasing them out of the city. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna be happy till there's an accident. One person got killed not too long ago on a bike on 95. Like, was 2
What is it about ATV culture in Philly? Talk to me. What is it? What is it? You got a movie based on Meek Mill? Like what?
First off, fuck me. Fuck me. I say this due to the fact that he's been to my gym and they kicked his ass out. All right. He tried to act bougie and tried to get in the ring. Was like, you know who I am? I'm Meek Mill. And the fighters were like, we don't give a fuck.
He's shaped like an exclamation. He's shaped like an exclamation mark. First of all,
he takes a lot of L's, and everyone knows in Philly he takes L's. He takes a lot of L's. The bike culture has been around for a long time. I can tell you now, if you go outside, and not even the motorcycle culture, but just regular bike culture, for those who don't know, if you go down Kensington, I'm going to say around, let's say about 12, 1 o'clock, let's just say, them stick-up kids is out there with pedal bikes. You're going to have 14-year-olds pulling up on you on a pedal bike, but they're going to pull the gun out on you, be like, yo, give me your shit or you won't get shot. You know what I'm saying? The stick-up kids is out there at that time. If you're not in, like I said, even as an adult, if you're outside, you hear, well, someone got shot. Well, what time was it? 1 a.m. Yeah, that bitch being out there.
Why was you outside? Like, that's the only time when it's the victim's fault.
Yeah,
like, well,
that's exactly what it looks like. It's like, yo, he shouldn't have been outside that time. He ain't no business being outside. You see that a lot now. So even though the victim didn't do shit, just being outside gets you blamed for shit. So it's like, it's crazy to see how the city is moving and how the hood is moving. And the ATV culture, it's always been there. These ATVs come really cheap. I can tell you right now, down on North 3rd, maybe North 3rd. I think it's North 3rd. Down there, was it past Girard, North 3rd? They have the bikes. They sell them on the front lawn. They don't give a fuck. They got the tent over the top of it, and they sell them on the front lawn. They don't care, man. They don't care.
So you could go up to a lawn and be like, "How much?" They'd be like, "Give me 500."
They'll tell you. They'll tell you how much it is, and they'll take that shit away. You see guys you still grown-ass adults still riding those really small ones so they look like clowns on a little bike, like little clown bikes. You see everything out here, man. I see, just last week I saw people on horses, walking around on horses. I'm like, okay, well, that's a thing too. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be amazed at the shit you see here, man. You'd be amazed. It's like, for all the stuff that you see, it all makes up to the culture. You know what I mean? And it's like, if people aren't doing sports, if they're not rapping, someone's on a bike, someone's on a horse, someone is on a corner. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as the neighborhood goes. So if somebody make it out, of course, everybody's going to be like, yeah, we're going to celebrate that dude. But then you also going to have those people like, yo, fuck him. Why was that not me? You know what I mean? You always want to have those people. You always are going to. That's why I was like, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what do you think separates that's Philly's own. We gonna ride with him or her versus the fuck him and her, that should have been me. What separates it?
I think it's the level of success. I think it
Okay.
depends if you're like a fly by or like a fly overnight type thing. If you're a success like Meek, no one cared about Meek for a long time. No one. Then he got a little bit of shine, and then he went to jail. When the Eagles, and I had me and Pooh had talked about this via stream, because I had said, watch out for the okie doke. The Eagles is coming. Was it Malcolm Jenkins was setting this up from the jump because he wants to be more political. And that's what happened. We found out that, out of all the people that they could have found, you know what I mean, to do the crime, just let's
crime initiative. Yeah.
Crime initiative. They found Meek to be the poster boy. Meek wouldn't have got out if it wasn't for that. He had all the rich people backing him. He had the Sixers backing him. He had the Eagles backing him. He had Kraft backing him. When you have such prominent figures backing you, you're going to get out. Now, if you're the average Joe, you're not getting out.
Fuck no.
You're not getting out. You stuck there. You know what I mean? And to me, that sent a bad message.
But that's fantastic because it leads me into this. Now I see why you got the fuck him. That should have been me, because when that video went out, when Lil Unis was selling him water or something, and dude was like, he was acting grimy with him, and I'm like, Meek, that was you. You're still a bad decision away from that being you again.
Yeah.
So why
look,
do
this? I put it like this. If for those who don't understand, and I'm going to break this down for y'all, those who do not understand the water hustle, the candy hustle, all right, we go get to this, all right. I'll start with the candy hustle. You're going to see kids walking around, whether it's on the train or on the block, or trying to sell candy because it'll help their football team. It'll help, for their grades, or they can, support books and all. Look, they raised the price on the candy so they can make sure that, okay, the school gonna get theirs, but we gonna get ours as well. It's the same thing with the water game outside. 90 degrees out, 100 degrees out. We need this for our football team, or we need this for our baseball team, or whatever. How much is your water? All right. If you say anything more than $1, it's a hustle. All right? It's a hustle. Now it's up to you whether you decide to respect the hustle and still buy it, or like, nah, you know better than that. You can't out hustle a hustler. You on your own. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. And I feel as though that I think that's what Meek saw at one point. He was looking at it and was like, yo, you ain't going to out hustle me. Tell me how much it is. And the kids, you know what I mean? At first, they was like, wait a minute. It was the same thing with other rappers who did it. How much is such and such if I add such and such? Wait a minute. They had to do the math in their head. And he was like, you too slow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to buy it now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So you got to know your hustle. One thing I have noticed that with kids is that no matter in bad neighborhoods or not, they got to know their money. I remember when I was younger, I would have my mom give me change in my hand, and say, just by feeling it, you should know how much is in your hand. You should know. Now go to the corner store and go get me some soda or some cigarettes or whatever. This is back before they check kids, mind you. All right, to go get stuff.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, at the bodegas and everything. Allegedly. So, I mean, when you had to make sure your money added up right. If your money didn't add up right, you was getting your ass kicked by the time you get home. You was getting your ass kicked. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, my dad, 8th grade education, he had to drop out when his dad died and take care of his family. But one thing two things I always respected about my dad. One was he could carry like 10 grocery bags in each hand up a flight of steps.
That's a whole different
struggle. That old man strength, I don't know what it was, but that was the most amazing shit. My dad was the Incredible Hulk. I was like,
you had to watch that shit. Mind you, going to the store, having X amount of bags, and then you got to carry it 2-3 blocks back. You know what I'm saying? And you go, God damn, this is heavy. But that's what it was. You know what I mean?
The second thing was, like we'll be at a store and the lady will be like, the total $7.68. I hand her a 20, her and him a 20. He'll have me change back. He'll be like, your change is, I'm just making it up, $12.32. My dad would be like, no, sir, it's supposed to be 14. That fast. Yeah. Like, I'm like, Dad, no calculator, no pencil, no eraser.
Nope. That's how it was.
Simple, basic things our kids don't know today.
Yeah. We had to learn the hard way. Let Mr. Softy come through and he shortchange you. Let Mr. Softy he shortchange you. You know it's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean?
First of all, is Softy still coming through?
Yeah, he's still coming through. He's still coming through.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a hood legend. He ain't dying. New York tried to get rid of him when they gentrified, and people went, yo, I'm telling you, last year, Mr. Softy came through New York, and the gentrifiers was like, he's too loud. He's playing his song too much and everything. They tried to get him. Man. They tried to cancel him. The hood ended up finding out the lady who did it, found out her apartment number, found out her phone number, found out her full name. Like, they didn't care. It was spread all over Twitter. They didn't care. They came for her. You're not going to cancel Mr. Softy.
My question is, do you want Mr. Softy who everybody can see? Or do you want the weird dude who's selling ices out of his apartments to little kids?
You still got dudes who still sell stuff out the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Not too long ago, they caught a guy with guns in a school zone selling guns out the trunk, illegal guns. He got the 3 to 5. You know what I'm saying? He done. They just announced today that some dude went to some Pennsylvania gun show and then he tried to sell the guns up in Queens in New York. And I'm like, yo, like, so he got pinched. So it's like, you have to understand, man, like, you going to do some serious time for that. So
let's speak. Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, let's speak on that a little bit before we start getting into some fun. You just spoke about guns, and in the comment section, I'm seeing a lot about the gun culture. Back when you and I grew up, like, that's why honestly Friday, the movie Friday should be put in the movie registry, because it's had so many relevant things in there. Like the conversation what Pops had with Craig when he said, put up your dukes.
Shoot a fair one. That's why, and that's the thing. If you throw hands, there's a chance that you might live to see another day. You don't need to use a gun all the time. Like I said, now, if you're going into war, by all means, do what you got to do, man. Like, I'm not mad at you. For those who don't know, they just found, at Queens Village and down in Kansas a couple years ago, they found live grenades. They had to clear the block out on Queens Village, was a couple days ago, because they found grenades.
With grenades?
Be amazed. Do you really want me to get into the stories? I mean, yeah, I'm telling you. I knew a lot of dudes who was like, I'm not going to waste the drive-by. I'm just going to throw the grenade. I was just like,
God.
I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, like I said, when I talk these things, that's why I always ask people, do you really want to get into it? Do you really want that type of? No one wants that. No one wants that. No one wants that.
No. And that's why I'm saying you being a fighter, holding multiple belts and multiple disciplines, it's like, I know sometimes you're like, man, I train every day. I've been training for over 20 years. For somebody to just say, nah, I'm gonna get my gun. No, I want to try this. Yeah. Let me see what I can do.
I always told people who threaten to get a gun, I say, yeah, you need a gun because of people like me. I always say that to them. You need a gun for people like me, because you're not going to shoot me a fair one. You know that. And there's times where I've gone against people who are like 1%ers in the world when they come into our gym and you throw hands with them, and you be like, God damn, I may just have to shoot this motherfucker. I can't like this. Everything I'm throwing is enough. You know what I mean? They were thinking shit like, God damn. So it's like, yeah, I may have to shoot a motherfucker. Like, there's no way. So yeah, it's one of those things where there's different levels to this at all times. And I feel as though too many people are quick to put up that gun. They're quick to pull at it and be like, yeah, I can shoot. It's like, you don't even know how to aim. You know what I'm saying? At least
I see so many videos where it's terrible. Like, they not account for recoil.
Nope.
They not accounting for tap.
Go
trigger
to the
squeeze,
range.
Nothing.
Please. Please. Please go to the range. Please.
Takashi got a video out where he's talking about shooting a gun, and he was like, hung. And Wack was like, I don't know what gun you shooting that sounds like that.
Like, that's what I mean. It's like, I think a lot of people, they need to educate themselves before doing some shit like that. They see it on TV. It's already glamorized. It's already glorified. And they want a piece of that. They want to be part of that. And fine, if you want to be a piece of that, okay. But at least get the discipline for it. Don't act like you're something that you're not first. And that's what kills me the most. It's like, don't go out like a sucker. Don't go out like that.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't go out getting shot with your own gun. Like, you got to count muscle fatigue, muscle memory.
Yep, muscle memory is a big deal.
What kind of gun you have.
Yep.
Like, you could be the strongest, but It's gonna take some muscle fatigue for you to hold that pistol and make sure you stand on target. Oh yeah, by the way, while you may be ducking, running, heart rate up.
I keep, I always told my dudes when they ring out in the streets, don't run straight. What's wrong with y'all? Don't run straight. Run if you're running away. Run the zigzag. Goddamn it! At least run the zigzag. Don't give them a still target to mitt. Like, come on, man.
Be the damn juggernaut or something. Oh,
God. Like, you'd be amazed. And when people get shot, and I noticed this around the way, when people get shot and they recover, they quick to show it off. They're like, yo, I remember one of the bulls got shot. He got shot.
Look.
Yeah,
I'm good.
He got shot like 4 times in the chest. He was quick to take his shirt off. Look how I got shot. Look where this is at. Look how I'm the man. I'm like, bro, you didn't need to share that information with us. Like,
bro, you was on a ventilator for 2 years. Like,
they don't care, man. They don't care. I'm telling you, I've seen people get mad because they was back because the delivery man was double parked in the street and people got out the car ready to whoop his ass because he took too long to deliver the food. I'm telling you, y'all don't understand how real it can get out here. Like, just for him doing his job. You take it, they'll lay on the horn until you get, that's not enough. They're gonna get out the car. It's crazy, man.
All right, bro. Let's have some fun now. You're a huge fighter. You boxing, MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a fight, if it's 2 hamsters fighting in a legal hamster fight, you there. You like the science. You like the science of fighting. Yeah. I've noticed lately there's been a lot of people taking shots at arguably the GOAT. And by the GOAT, I mean Bruce Lee. Like, I don't know if you saw the video going viral where they was asking my man Michael Jai White. That's my dude, first of all. That's my dude. They was like, Bruce Lee should be worried about, he said, me.
Yeah, because Michael Jai White is a very large dude. He's a big dude. And also
he can move.
And he's agile. Also, let it be known that this man, the camera adds 10 pounds, but he's also like 220, 230. He moves like a cat. So as far as I'm concerned, I saw some pictures with him with some UFC fighters where he's doing jump kicks and everything, and I was like, bruh, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, no one's doing jump kicks in the octagon. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, but he can pull it off. Now, I remember when he said that, people have to believe that Bruce Lee is the GOAT. They have to believe that. I think that everyone's run comes to an end at some point. And I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. But there's no way that Bruce Lee can take a young Michael Jai White. Let's say Bruce Lee is 60. And Michael Jai White is what? He's in his 40s maybe now? 40, 50, something like that. Mm-hmm. And at his size, if Bruce Lee stayed in his prime size, that's not going to work. I mean, he's got speed on his side, but is that really going to hurt him? Depending on the force of his punch, depending on where you're landing the punch, it depends. It really does.
Now, let me ask you this, bro, because a lot of people would say something that made a lot of sense to me was Bruce would want the new fighters today to say that, to believe that, because that's what he wanted with martial arts. He believed that if I'm not teaching you to whoop my ass, then I'm not doing my job.
Not doing your job. I put like this: when you're teaching people how to fight, you're teaching people not just how to defend themselves, but how to be lethal weapons. And I think that with that said, first off, you have to have confidence if you're going to get into a fight, all right, or to defend yourself. You have to have some type of confidence. You have to have a level of confidence. Now, I've seen a lot of guys come off the street twice my size, and I'd be like, yo, do you have any fighting experience? And they'd be like, yeah, I've been in a lot of street fights. And as soon as you hear that, it's like, all right, well, that don't mean shit now, because when you're in a lot of street fights, that has a lot of bad habits. And you have a lot of bad habits. So when you start breaking them down technically on how to throw punches and all, and you see these guys lunging and throwing punches and all, I'm like, bro, like, you have a lot of bad habits. We got to start from ground zero. And I will say this, ladies out there, you are the best when it comes to training. You are the best. I have noticed a lot of women that because there's such, dare I say, empty vessels. They don't have a lot of street fights under their belt. They don't get into a lot of fights. They're easier to teach because guys have always fought throughout this entire time, and they have such bad habits where they're just stuck in it. And it's hard to get them out of it, as opposed to teaching somebody like as of a woman that you can teach that doesn't have that knowledge yet. So it's easier to direct them on what they need to do. I cannot tell you how many guys that have been like 6'4", 6'5", 265 that I have put down because of their bad habits. And that is a thing that you have to teach them because some of them think they come in cocky as shit. Some of them really come, that ego will get to them. Like, all right, you understand. You don't know what you're doing. You should be listening. And then they're like, well, I know, I this is how I fought all my life. And then you start showing them shit. It's like, here's a hole, here's a hole, here's a hole. This is where you're not defending. This is where you're not fainting. This is where you're not, slipping. This is not where you're not rolling. If you're going to be big, stand tall and fight. There's a lot of things that they don't know. And then when you break it down to them, they're like, damn, I didn't think about all this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot to this game in order to defend yourself. That's why when people be calling, oh, I'll get such and such, go get whoever you want. That shit don't bother me any. Everyone's they're not even faces anymore. When you fought as much as so many people do in fighting every day, it's like a day at the office. That's what it is. So we don't see faces. We're just analyzing the whole time. Analyzing, okay, this person's keeping their hand down. This person's on a certain rhythm. I know exactly how to disrupt that. I know exactly where they stand. Like, you are talking to yourself in your head the entire time while they're sitting there probably getting hyped off of it. Because for them, it's an emotional thing. It's an emotional thing. They're hyped, they're angry, and you're just blank. You probably got a smile on your face like, yeah, I'm going to fuck you up. You just don't know it yet. You know what I mean? I've seen some of the smallest people beat up the biggest people. And, especially when we have football players come in and think they can do their shit. That's the funniest part. When football players come in and like, yeah, they big. But then you clip them a couple times, and they get that corner, and they start doing like this. It's a wrap.
Speaking of that, we just had a big thing about Logan Paul calling out Garrett or some crap, and I'm like, just like you said, bro, just because somebody's big or an athlete somewhere else doesn't mean they can fight. But at a certain point, you like,
even with
you gotta respect it.
Even with the biggest guys, regardless how bad they are at fighting, you have to respect their power. You have to respect that. If you don't, you're in for a bad day because all it takes is one punch. Logan Paul, oh my God, I said I would never talk about the Pauls anymore because
the face of boxing.
If they were to face of boxing and they love boxing so much, they would have opened up a number of facilities for people who are, who don't have the same, lifestyle, or should I say the same fortunate lifestyles that they have.
They're worried about themselves.
Yeah, they're worried about themselves. It's a payday for them. That's all it is. It's rich kids boxing. And as you know, anyone who's in the fight game, they don't come from wealthy places. Rich people don't really fight. Wealthy people don't really fight. Comfortable people don't really fight.
Hungry people
fight. Uncomfortable people fight. And that's what it comes down to. And I can't tell you how many boxers have slept in their car. How many boxers had to sleep on a couch with roaches all around it and carrying on. The stories that I hear, even kids that I still treat, you gotta still teach. You gotta make sure that they're okay because their mentality isn't there yet because they're still young. They're still, they still make dumb mistakes. But like not paying your monthly to get in for the gym so you can box, but you'll buy your girlfriend a Switch. Like, come on, B. Like, you're done priorities here. Come on. But they young. They gonna make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? They gonna. So it's one of those things. I think Logan Paul is playing. I think he's played with way too much fire. If you ask me, him and his brother Jake. I think they're just picking off MMA fighters due to the fact that, and not even good MMA fighters. You know what I mean? You got to think most of them centered around wrestling. You know what I mean? They're not really known for their hands.
They know what the hell they're doing.
Of course, everything's orchestrated. They didn't go through amateurs. They didn't go through Golden Gloves. They didn't go through any of that type of stuff. They didn't go through nationals or anything. So when you see these guys leapfrog all the harder workers that came from nothing to make themselves something, it pisses off the community. It does. So nobody takes them seriously. I don't know if anyone saw it today, but Tank, his airplane, he had to stop his airplane because there was something faulty with it. And Jake Paul was like, I hope you're doing well. He had said something about it. It was an offhanded comment, but then he was like, but no, seriously, with all due respect, I hope you're doing well and, you're safe because, you're playing and all. And Tank pretty much responded, fuck you. That was his response. Like, what you want? You know what I mean? Like, what can you do? Like, when you keep gunning after these big names and the big names have worked so hard to get to the position they're at, and they're still young and they're still in their prime, and you come along and leapfrog all these people and think, oh, I deserve a fight with you. You get the fuck out of here with that. No one's listening to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What celebrity
absolutely.
Let them go box celebrities. All right. I already have a video where I show what happens with celebrity boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I already showed that.
Correct.
So yeah.
And it's just weird. It's a weird thing, and I'm gonna switch gears because I want to get to on top of everything else. So you got so many goddamn interests and hobbies and things like.
Yeah. I'm a man of all.
We're huge WWE fans. We're huge wrestling fans.
Wrestling, okay.
And last night was SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go through. Let's talk about the main things that everybody's talking about.
Okay.
Becky Lynch beating Bianca Belair.
Oh, you'll start me out already. Okay. Look, huge fan of Becky Lynch. I just didn't like the way they did Bianca. I didn't like you built her up to this point to be who she is, and then to have Becky do that. And I understand Bianca's caught off guard, and she's supposed to be, she's so hyped about this. She doesn't know what to expect. She goes for the handshake. She gets popped. She gets slammed. It's over.
Rock bottom?
Yeah, rock bottom. I get it. You know what I mean? I understand. So for me, I get that angle of the story. However, a lot of people are seeing this as, they just tried to bury this girl's career. Now, there's talk already about her going to Raw. So maybe that's where she'll get her new start. I don't know. But the fact that her and Sasha did not meet for this rematch, and then you bring Carmella in, which we've already seen her beat Carmella a number of times, it would have been best to keep Carmella into the triple threat and have her take the pin instead of Bianca. That way it doesn't hurt the champion, and Becky still gets what she wants. But they didn't do that. So, yeah, there's a big problem.
This is my issue with this. Because I get it. I talked to a couple wrestlers that's been in the business, and when something like that happens to you, they like to see how you react after, how you are in the locker room, how do you take eating shit, like how do you do it. My issue is it seems to be the same people that have to go that route. The Kufi, the Biancas.
Look,
it's just weird. Like now something comes out about her being injured. I don't know what the play is. But my thing is, Vince, you have 800 different ways to do that without making Bianca look that weak. And you know what's funny? I tweeted during it. I said, I was like, this is my exact tweet. I said, Bianca, baby girl. I love Becky too. And I love that you're marking out. But remember, you're Bianca fucking Belair.
You have to remind yourself who you are.
Get back into the game. And I don't know if they're going to play on that, like you said, like she needs to remember, like you're a champion now. Like stop marking out for the Sasha Banks and stuff like that. You belong here. You are the EST.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to play off that and be like, well, Becky did what a veteran would do, but it just was so. It took us on a higher roller because, like, oh my God, Carmella, silence. Becky's back. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
10 in 3 seconds. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was
so many emotions in the span of 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with that is like you said, when you start talking about color, I've said before that I'm so tired of seeing black folks shuck and jive to get to where they need to go.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
You have no idea how. You have no idea. I can tell you straight up. I do not like Xavier Woods. I do not like. I mean, I applaud him for his brain for bringing that together. I don't like the way they went about that altogether. Besides everything that he touches outside of that, when it comes to other games, stuff, people are very upset with him. So I mean, overall. And what he did with the women's title, for those you ladies who don't know who like Xavier Woods, when he was with Paige, skeeted all over the women's title because he didn't give a shit. Yeah, there's a lot that
I've heard so much things allegedly.
Allegedly. We'll keep it allegedly.
But this is my thing here, big bro, because I remember when Xavier Woods first approached Big E and Kofi. He was angry. He had glasses on. He had the black suit on. And he was like, it's time for us to stop doing. And people was like, oh, we get NOD 2.0?
Yeah.
And then there was some rumors that Vince was kind of hesitant to go that militant route,
Yeah.
and then they went this whole evangelical like happiness and
Yeah,
and Vince is all about the merchandising, the shirts was selling, everything. So
well, he's recycling the same gimmick that we saw. I mean, when he was with the Dudleys, he went on his own at one point in WWE, and they made him Reverend Devon. You know what I mean? Like they done this before.
They got certain things for black wrestlers, Reverend, Thugs,
Dancer,
Red Cups with Prophets, Sasha Banks, diva type, BI, all this shit. It's just so weird about some of those characters are still out there.
They're trying to tap into the base of who can relate to them, and majority of your market. Let's be honest here, black folks. That sorry to say this, but they set your culture. They set the trends. They do. Every time you see a challenge or whatever, what happened?
We're behind it.
Every
now
time
it's
you
the
see
milk crate challenge.
Don't even get me started on Jesus Christ. That is so embarrassing. It is so embarrassing. I'm like, black people are actually coming out in droves to see if they can walk across milk crates. And that's what I said earlier. I was like, I hope they got good insurance because they ain't going.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, man? White people see milk crates. We see basketball hoops.
Yeah, that's what we see. And people, I'll put it like this: if you go down Somerset, Kensington to Somerset, there is still a milk crate as a basketball hoop that's still there on Kensington and Somerset. I'm just letting y'all know that when you cross Frankfurt Ave, just letting y'all know that there's people who still play on the milk crate. All right, so I mean, it's something,
So let's go, Lashley and Goldberg.
You know what? I'm happy it ended the way it did. This way, old guy keeps his integrity. Lashley still looks like a badass. I was going to be upset, and the thing is, I rarely get upset at wrestling, but I'm like, yo, if y'all bringing this old guy back to beat Lashley, like, come on, man. Come on, what's wrong with you? I'm going to be upset over this. And it didn't happen, and I was cool with the ending. I mean, of course, there's going to be a continuation with it. I'm fine with that, too. But, yeah, to say that he can't finish, he's injured, makes Lashley look more like a threat. Then he hurt Locks' son. I'm like, okay, now we got a story going. And the fans cheered. They didn't even boo.
That's what I'm saying. Good job, Vince. They was cheering Lashley beating a kid's ass in front of his dad. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I was thinking. I was just like, that's shame. That's real shame. I just didn't care. I mean, look, these guys, these wrestlers, they put in so much effort because their bodies take so many slams 365 days a year. When something's rehearsed. You know what they're trying to get at, and you see it, unfold. And it's like, okay, he knew what he was doing. He did this. He wasn't really trying to hurt the kid in real life. I mean, come on. Yeah. But you got to play it up to what it is. Yeah, you got to play it to what it is. Like, yeah. So it's professionalism. So for me, the fans cheering was like, okay, he just got over more than what you really want him to. But, I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, no one really
I'm going to tell you. I was like, what?
Yeah, you're not going to do anything. You couldn't finish your match. Sit down.
Okay, let's go. The big one. Let's go Roman Reigns.
Oh God.
And the return of Brock.
I told people that Roman Reigns was going to retain because they have no one else in the tank right now for Roman Reigns. Brock coming out, that's a tough one because we all know the surprises had to be done because of what AEW did with CM Punk.
Yes.
That's all it was. All right.
Yeah.
So Brock coming out. Brock got paid that night. He came out. He got paid.
Did you see my tweet when I said pretty much Vince went to him and said, name your price?
Yep. Name your price. He got paid that night.
He didn't have time to get real clothes. He just came out in Wranglers, black boots,
and a ponytail. Yeah, it looked like pineapple. But I was like, it's cool. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing, Brock. So, I mean, if they're going to play story-wise, I can see Brock not going with it. We don't want to see a two-man power trip because then there's no point at that point.
Okay.
Brock has already beaten Roman Reigns too many times. Roman Reigns beat Brock, once in Saudi Arabia, I think it was. And
nobody remembers because they were so pissed off that they were over there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no one cared. So I can see Brock, he looks like he was being faced. And then I don't know if you saw what happened after the show went off.
Yeah.
He destroyed John Cena even more. Just suplexes left and right. I'm like, so they paid you to come out here and beat up a guy who's already beat up. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
All right.
I mean,
so you think Brock is the face?
I think he's going to be a face. People don't like Roman Reigns as it is right now because of everything that's going on because of the story. So I think Brock will be the face in this one. I think he will.
But like you said, I caught your pie earlier. By the way, fantastic what you and those guys be doing. Shout out to them guys. Yeah, you talked about how I remember I made the I said Lashley has the charisma of a fruit salad.
He does. He does.
Brock has charisma because he's so he's built different. He was built in a lab.
Yeah, but he's built larger than life. Lashley has not been built larger than life. Paul Heyman has done such a great job for Brock Lesnar as his mouthpiece that even if Brock utters words, people are like, holy shit, he talked. You know what I mean? So it's like, Lashley.
Hey, Paul, say something stupid. Yeah. I remember that. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly. You're not expecting Brock to talk. You're seeing Brock to come destroy. That's how he's built. Lashley is not built that way. And they got MVP to talk for him. Don't get me wrong. They got him to talk for him. But Lashley is more of, we in suits. I got the ladies around me. I'm going to show you the smile and everything. And I'm just like, okay, completely different. He's had to change his character now. And I'm really upset that they got rid of Hurt Business. I'm like, yo, we can't have a black dominant faction? We can't have that? What's up?
No, because Vince, no. And it was so stupid because look at Reigns. Reigns has a faction.
Yeah. Yep. It's his family, but he still slapped him around. You don't get it.
So, what do you see Brock as this unhinged beast with nobody to talk to him?
I think that's what it is. I think Paul's not going to be able to get through to him. I mean, if they're smart, that's the way they'll play it. And Brock is just going to be let loose. And if Brock is let loose, y'all might as well just move out the way. You know what I mean?
Remember that episode where Paul Bearer had turned on Kane, and after every match on Raw, he came and destroyed somebody. So when you would win, you really didn't win because you would be like, "And winner!" And then you hear the flames, and you're like, "Yes,
here they come! Yep, here they come!" And I think they need to do the same thing with Brock. I think if Brock comes in and just destroys people left and right and shows that that's super serious, because you should. I mean, let's be honest here. You have no choice but to take Brock Lesnar serious. That's all you have. He's a viable threat to Roman Reigns' title because he's beaten Roman so many times. Who are you going to throw out there? Edge?
Shit out of Roman.
We already saw
That's Edge the one thing I hate that Vince did was he made Roman look so weak in those beatdowns by Lesnar. It was like, so now when they go together, I know people saying he's never faced heel Roman. I get it, but I still remember him getting suplexed 17 times.
Roman has added what? A guillotine choke to his arsenal. That's it. Everything else is still the same. He's still doing his vest off. Yeah, he took his vest off. That's it. You know what I mean? He took his shirt off so now the ladies can see it. That's it.
Ladies love him some Roman Reigns, and I ain't mad at it.
I'm not mad either.
I don't even know what they be looking at. They be like, he's so fine. What did he just do? Was that a suplex? What was that?
I'm not even mad.
Just walked to the ring. That's it.
Look, if you got it, you got it. I'm not mad. And
like I said I said during one I said, wait a minute, Reigns is 265. I'm 265. Why I don't look like that? Somebody said you forgot to be 6'3".
Well, also remember that Roman Reigns is an ex-football player who used to, and for those who don't know, he used to take steroids. So I mean, he got caught with that. He was suspended for it. So it's nothing new. So I mean, he's football player turned bodybuilder turned wrestler turned whatever else you want to call him. So I respect the head of the table.
The head of the table is Dwayne Johnson.
Well, technically yes, because he's a bigger draw. So we may see that in the future. You never know.
Yeah. So. Still tears damn ab muscle again. I don't think The Rock makes $25 million a film. I know he loves the WWE, but I'm not about to get rid of my Shazam check for chasing WWE. Around Roman Reigns.
Yeah, besides Rock is getting older. You know what I mean? Like let him do acting. He's good at acting. Let him do his thing. Yeah.
So, bro, let's also get into we got to talk Philly sports. You and I, Philly fanatics. Eagles. What you like, what you don't like. What may surprise you?
Coaching bothers me. Bothers me because no matter who is out there on the field, I'm not seeing the execution I want to see. So when I was watching the preseason games, of course, you don't expect starters to do but so much, even though now they've shortened the preseason games to where they have to get more reps. So you're not going to see but so much. But the coaching schemes that I've seen, like the Patriots just ran all over us. Like in the first half of the game this week, they're like literally hand the ball, go right up the gut. And that's what they did. They made a hole for the running backs, and he ran straight up the gut like it was nothing to it, and that bothered
But
me a lot.
main event, it was vanilla. They
Yeah,
were vanilla. They don't want to show anything.
they don't want to show anything. We lost 35-0 in a preseason game. All right, 35-0. I take that personal. All right, that's a little personal. All right, you're running right up the gut for guys who should be able to clog those holes up. You know what I mean? I understand that Cam Newton wasn't out there. You had Jones out there with his little all lives matter walking, trying to get out there and throw some passes. And I'm like, all right, yeah. And he made sure that he got those passes. He wasn't playing. He was out there trying to put him on the spot.
Because all lives matter. Matt Jones.
Jesus Christ.
So what do you like?
I like the speed of our receivers, but I need to see more explosiveness. I need to see what they can do off the line. I need to see what happens yards per catch. Or after catch, I should say. That's what I need to see. We got a little bit of it, not much. But, of course, you got Joe Flacco out there. I'm not expecting much from Joe Flacco, all right? I need to see Jalen Hurts out there more. Like I said, of course, we want to see reps. I need to see how he's going to connect with his receivers because for what we saw during the preseason, I mean, don't get me wrong, ladies, I understand you love Jalen Hurts. You didn't want to see your quarterback get the shits. I get it, all right? You didn't want to see him, I got to go to the hospital because I got the shit. I get it. You didn't want to see that. It's not sexy. I understand. But we need to see him as a starting quarterback. We need to see what he can do other than check down to tight ends. I need to see more than that. I need to see that he can throw the ball. I need to see it. We saw Watkins, in the one preseason game, he broke loose. He was gone. That was it. It was over. But I need to see more from what we're seeing production-wise from our receivers. You know what I mean? I need to see more than square ends and slants. I need to see more. I need to see these guys can run flat out and beat their defenders. I need to see the D-backs get smoked.
You know what I like for the first time about the wide receivers is there's some I can't say dynamite. There's some dynamics to players just walking off the bus. Quez Watkins is dynamic.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith is dynamic.
Yeah.
Fogelman is dynamic.
Yeah.
Therefore. Versus you got the catch, fall down, catch, turn around. It's a DB on me, tackle.
Yeah.
So where they may catch the ball, it's not where they may end up.
Well,
that's what
I
like.
I want to see the yards per catch. I want to see yards after catch. I'm sorry. So YAC.
Yeah.
Yards after catch. Yeah. So I need to see more of that.
Go ahead.
What
surprised you?
What surprised me?
Yeah.
I'm going to say what surprised me, and not for the better. What surprised me was our defensive coordinator. I mean, we just finished getting rid of a defensive coordinator who was giving up so many yards. You know what I mean? Like, they pushed these guys, pushed the D-backs back, and they were just killing us 5-7 yards here and there. I saw a little bit of that in the last game. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, all right, we got rid of Schwartz. What's going on here? I need to see a little bit more press. I need to see.
But main event, they're vanilla. They're not showing anything in the preseason.
I need to see. Look, I understand it's preseason. Look, if the fans in the stands can get aggressive and punch people in the face in the preseason, the players can get a little aggressive too. All right, that's what I need to see. And I didn't see that a lot. I just didn't. And it kind of bothered me because I'm like, okay, hopefully we'll see what happens come, the regular season. But if this is anything that we're seeing, this is why I still feel we need to have more preseason games. I need to see more. I mean, look what happened. We had 2 preseason games and people getting hurt. I'm like, well, shit. You know what I mean? What's going to happen here? I'm like, you know what I mean? It's only been 2 preseason games. But we got killed. We didn't get, I don't want to say killed, but we got pretty much bullied by the Steelers. I mean, they did. Aggression-wise. Bullied by the Steelers. And the Patriots just did whatever the hell they wanted to do. And that bothered me. You know what I mean? I was just like, just hit somebody. Wrap them up at least. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people just get hit and then they just take off. You know what I mean? Or drag. And I didn't like to see that at all. I need to see more than that. So I mean, but
no, I was gonna say, now I want to real quick because I really don't want to talk about him, but I feel like we kind of have to because people don't know, man. Basketball is you. That's what you do. Ben Simmons.
Okay.
What?
Disappointment, number one. I was against Ben Simmons after he said, well, if you have that type of energy for us, stay over there. Don't bring it to us now when we're winning. that kind of cemented where his mentality is. When Kobe Bryant tells you, look, develop a jump shot, when everyone is telling you, look, develop a jump shot, and you don't listen to everybody, and you're just going to do you, then you're hard-headed, and you're not listening to everybody. I understand that the Sixers are still looking for trades for Ben Simmons. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. I mean, I think he is. See, people are saying he's soft. I think he is soft. I think he's soft to an extent. I'm tired of seeing these videos in offseason, him shooting, baskets at practice or playing in scrimmages and shooting baskets. You got to do that during a game. When he shot that basket and it went in during this previous season and the fans lit up because he scored, I looked around like, are y'all fucking serious right now? This is not the Philly I know. This is not the Philly I know. Philly by now would have strung that man up and called it a day. They wouldn't have went with that. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have. Now we happy that players are taking shots.
Philly fans anymore. We already know who's going to Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, we already know.
New
Philadelphia. Yep, we already know.
New Philadelphia, the main line, Fishtown, Princess, all that other.
Yeah, it's not the people that they used to have. It's not. I can't tell you how many hipsters with beards I can count in the stands and see. Like, nah, man, nah. That's not your ballers. It's not.
All right. Now, listen. You already know what's about to come up. Listen, you and I, huge comic book fans, comic fans.
Oh, here we go. Okay, all right.
You already know. You already know. For those who don't know, me and the big bro, we got, I guess, a friendly rivalry going on to where he loves Iron Man. That's his dude, Tony Stark.
Yep.
And y'all already know I'm Bruce Wayne'd up. Like, that's my guy. That's my dude. Because I believe if I can make some sound investments, I can be Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Well, you know what? Yeah, I think that at this point, anybody makes sound investments that can be Bruce Wayne. I think so. Just don't go mentally crazy and start beating up on the mentally crazy, and we're good. You know what I mean? But no, you've got a point there. All right, I feel like this. This debate that you want to have, I feel there's levels to it, and I also feel that Batman still doesn't stand a chance. Because if we're talking tech, Stark is going to beat you 10 times out of 10. This guy has beaten celestial gods with his tech. Okay? With his tech. He's got Godbuster armor. Bruce Wayne can barely fly the Batjet without being shot down in every movie or in every series.
No, wait a minute. That's creative. You know why? You know why they do stuff like that? Because it's somewhere. I hate this whole thing to where we have to make the superhero relatable. They have to have some sort of struggle for you to care. No, you do not. No, I love seeing Hulk go through, snatch people up, beat the shit out of people, and nobody being able to stop him. I don't need Hulk to struggle or not be able to pay his rent for me to be emotionally invested into the Incredible Hulk. I don't care about Betty. I don't care about any of that shit. All I care is when Hulk gets mad, the world stops. That's all I care about. And my issue with Stark is he has a suit for everything. Everything.
That's contingencies. Batman's the same way.
But my thing is with Stark I'm looking at it, I'm like, Stark lost his parents, Bruce lost his parents.
Yeah.
Stark is smart, Bruce is smart.
There are different levels of smart, but yeah, different levels of smart.
Well, I think among Marvel, it's him, Richards,
T'Challa,
yeah, and who else?
Black Panther, Richards. Panther? Yeah, they're the top three. They're the top three
when it comes to intelligence.
Yes,
and Batman, they downplayed that in the Black Panther movie, by the way.
Yeah, they did. But I mean,
just want to say that.
Well, yeah, they're always going to. They're going to. But in this Black Panther movie, it's already been announced that Riri Williams, who is Ironheart, which will be the successor to Iron Man, will be in Black Panther 2. She will be in it. So, yeah, she'll be in it.
You know what? Let's pause a little bit, bro, because you and I talk a lot about this offline, that now with today's comic books and stuff, we can't enjoy it because we got...
Everyone's got an agenda. They got ulterior motives of agenda.
Why does it have to be He-Man? Why can't it be Teela's story? What's wrong with two male superheroes loving each other? I'm like, there's
Okay,
nothing wrong with
there's
any of
nothing
that.
wrong with it. Yeah, there's
But
nothing wrong
make
with it.
it organic.
Yeah, and I think people look too hard. I mean, for our He-Man, we had She-Ra. Shout outs to She-Ra. We had She-Ra, and then they came out with a new She-Ra, and they fucked that up. All right, and then they came out with a new He-Man, and they
Terrible.
fucked that up. So it goes to show you that when you have an agenda, instead of just going with the classic tropes, I should say, dare I say that? Oh, God forbid I say that. Classic
Oh, you
tropes.
said tropes?
Yeah, tropes.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
stream
They
over.
yeah, they're coming to get me. They're coming to get me. I know, but I mean, you can clearly. I mean, you can work around. You can toy around with it, but for them to always have an agenda on why it needs to be done, it doesn't sit well. Like you said, if it's organically done, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I can't tell you how many people I have seen with, like with different, characters in comic books or even in video games that are either they're bisexual or they're lesbian or whatever. And guess what? I play the shit out of them because I don't care. I don't care about the sexual orientation. I don't care who they like or whatever. I'm playing this game because I enjoy it, or I'm reading this book because I enjoy it. When you start shoving it down our throats is a problem. And that goes for all of it. It doesn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because it's like, if you want to put a strong female lead in a movie, do it. If you want to have that scene to where Pepper Potts,
I didn't have a problem with the end game.
Bodyguards and stuff.
I did not have a problem. People.
Me either.
They had so many problems with it. And I'm like, y'all understand this is A-Force right here. This is a nod to A-Force. This is the all-women's group that's going to try and get it done. And if anyone was paying attention, they didn't get it done. So I didn't see the problem. I didn't see the problem.
No.
You know what I mean?
Captain Marvel came close, but
not even Wanda came close. Wanda came closer than everybody. He had to rain fire on his own people in order to stop Wanda from tearing him apart because she is a force of nature. And if you don't read the comic books, it's even worse in the comic books.
Right. And the thing is, people, and that's the thing, it's such an agenda now that people see something like the A-Force nod and they get so mad, but it's like, people, that's canon. That's in there. That's source.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what's going on around us that I can't blame people for rolling their eyes like, they're going to save the day. Here we go.
Well, I feel like this. I personally liked Captain Marvel. I saw the parts where it was Captain Marvel. And mind you, for those who don't know, Captain Marvel 2 is now called Captain Marvels because you're going to have more than one Captain Marvel in it. All right? You're going to have Miss Marvel in it. You're going to have Monica Rambeau in it. You're going to have, Carol Danvers in it. There's going to be a number of Marvels in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel, I thought was a good start. You know what I mean? I understand that they were women empowerment. If you look at the deleted scenes, it doesn't add up. When the guy was like, he's on his motorcycle, why don't you smile or whatever? I feel like this. I know women who tell men when they're on the street, you should smile more. You should smile more.
You look good. Why aren't you smiling?
You don't ever hear, oh, I'm so offended, blah, blah, blah. You never hear that. Ever.
No.
Us guys, you tell us to smile more, like, shit, okay, that made my day. That made my day. I'm a strut for the rest of the day. You know what I mean?
You told me to smile more.
Yeah, really. I understand you ladies are approached more than us men. I understand that. So you probably hear it 15, 20 times out of our one time. You know what I mean? I get that. You know what I mean? So by the time they get to that 20th or 40th person, they're just like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're used to that. Us men, when we see it and it happens, that's like, yeah, I'm feeling good about myself. Yeah, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm good about yourself.
I look like Michael Strahan, but I smile.
I'll smile.
Why not?
Hey, you know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, I think that there's room for both. But what Captain Marvel did, for those who didn't see the behind the scenes, when the guy told her to smile more, apparently she punched him out and took his motorcycle. I mean,
she took his clothes.
She took his clothes motorcycle anyway, but she punched him out or whatever just for saying that. I'm like, that's not the right message to send. That's not the right message. You know what I mean?
You'd be amazed.
I mean, but people have to also understand in that movie, she already had behavior problems. They show you right from the beginning. She had problems.
She was a cocky pilot.
She was cocky. She was, like I said, she would get bested and then she used her power just to get the best of you. It was like she had emotional problems that she didn't know how to control. That's what they were fighting for in the beginning, for practice, to teach discipline. And it seems like there's a growth within that in the movie. I think that people kind of overlook because she stopped doing it, and she did in the beginning of the movie, and then later in the movie she wasn't so cocky until she destroyed that ship, and then it was like, who is she? And she was like, y'all really want some? And it was like, you know what? We out. You know what I mean?
I like this one.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like.
But let's get back to Batman and Iron Man.
Okay.
Why? It seems like Batman is so polarizing. I don't understand. Is it one of those things? Is it because of his fan base, or is it Batman just himself?
I think he's polarizing because of his rogue gallery.
Okay,
I think that's what it is. I think when you look at his rogue gallery, hands down, he has one of the best rogue galleries in any comic book lore. The problem with his rogue gallery is that because he's crazy, and he is crazy, all right, they're crazy. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. But I mean, I think because the rogue gallery is so extreme, it is hard to go against anything else. Batman has become so dark that's what makes him so polarizing. So when you see people, and I've seen it on Twitter, people are talking about, oh, well, Bruce Wayne could do more for people if he just gave away his money. And I'm like, that doesn't stop the crime problem. And they say, oh, well, it stops the poverty problem. It doesn't stop the crime. Look, there's going to be people out there who are crazy because they're crazy. There's people who are going to be out there who do crime because they want to do crime. You know what I mean? But the origin always goes, these people didn't exist until he put on the outfit, until he was the Bat. When he became a persona of his own, then all of a sudden, all these people start coming out of nowhere. So he gets blamed for his rogue gallery. It's kind of like an influential thing. I think that's what makes him slightly polarizing, that and his absolute paranoia on everything. He's paranoid of everybody. He's paranoid of Superman.
Now, bro, you can't tell me you're not leery. You told me yourself. You was like, watch everybody.
Yeah, you have to watch everyone. And when I said that, it wasn't from a Batman standpoint, as it was an Iron Man suit around the world standpoint, because you don't know when shit's going to happen. You know what I mean? If I'm standing next to Superman, I'm looking at him like, oh, it's going to take one bad day for you, isn't it? We all fucked. We're all fucked. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. One bad day for Superman, and we're done. You know what I mean? So I understand the paranoia. I do understand it. I understand the contingencies that Batman. Like I said, from being smart and having contingency from a standpoint, I respect Batman. Hand-to-hand combat, I respect Batman. His technological advances, not so much. Not so much. He's got stuff in the belt. He's got the shark repellent. Let's keep him with the shark repellent, and we're fine. All right.
No, that's Adam West, Batman. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. If I could just reach my shark
spray. Mind the shark is gnawing on his leg.
They're gorilla sharks. I have gorilla shark pellet.
Yep, he's got gorilla shark. He's got everything. He's got everything in the belt. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to tell. He's a regular Tim Allen. He's just that's what he is. He's a regular Tim Allen. That's what he is. And it's like,
I got you. But one thing I can say about Iron Man that I respect is I respect his ability to be himself and still kick ass. And when I say that, it's easy to be yourself and kick ass, but to be a Tony Stark, like, he didn't have to say, I am Iron Man. He could have just been Iron Man.
Yeah. He don't have to say
told everybody, all villains, I am Iron Man.
Come see me, yo. Come see me. Like, he didn't have to go look for him. I'm right here. Yeah.
When Batman normally says, if people know who I am, if I'm close to people, they're going to go at them.
Yeah.
Tony said, I am Iron Man. If you come after Pepper, she has a button she could press, and a suitor come around her, and she's gonna kick your ass.
Yep, that's Tony for you. And the thing is, sometimes that does backfire. You know what I mean? It does. I've read many books where it has backfired, especially when he's an aging version of Tony Stark, where he thinks he can still do it, and his brain is 2-3 seconds behind. You know what I mean? Because of all the concussions that he's taken over the years. So he's pretty much a walking vegetable at one point, and he's got to hang it up, or he's got to find a successor. So these things do happen. It's the same thing with Batman. If you read The Dark Knight, when he gets older, he's got to find a successor. What do you do? He resorts to guns. He's too old to be fighting these people. He resorts to getting his own gang. Like, it really depends on who's writing the character, as far as I'm concerned. But I feel with Tony, he's always a step ahead when it comes to tech. Always.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect him, because it's like, yo, I don't have to do this. I got a button that does it already. I don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, he's there. And it's like,
my man created his own element. like that part when you look into I was like, is Tony about to create an element?
Yeah.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He created his own element off the scientific chart, his table, and the periodic table. Sorry, and it's amazing because when you look up that element and you look and see that the actual research involved, when it talks about certain elements it uses, and then it literally says in big bold letters, the rest is completely fiction. I was like, wow, you're not even going to try it. Huh? Not even going to try, huh?
Okay.
He couldn't explain it. I was like,
but bro, before I get you out of here, so let's talk about what projects you got in the wings. I know you always got something going in. What you got going on?
Well, number one thing is the project is trying to still get these people at City Hall to listen, and City Council to listen to what's going on. That's the biggest project, because too many people are being killed, and I have answers. Bottom line, I have answers, I have contingencies, I have everything that you would need to talk about these things and how they can be executed. Starting from rebuilding parks to learning, teaching kids how to be more competent, like have actual summits because the police won't come. They already made it known that they won't come to a park, especially after there's a shooting, that they want to do more with the parks and rec. However, they have not lived up to that word. There's more things that can be done on the park and rec side to get those police out there. However, they're not doing that. I try to talk to the parks and recs. They don't want to hear anything. I try to talk to City Council. They don't want to hear anything. The DA don't want to hear anything. The mayor doesn't want to hear anything. It's like, dude, do I have to come and knock on your door? Like, I got to stack this thick of plans. A stack of this thick. You know what I mean? And I said, if these plans don't work here, it's time to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? I have gyms, boxing gyms that are run down that you can look. If they're fully staffed and fully funded, you can keep it going. It keeps kids off the streets. It keeps adults off the streets. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that you can do to make things better. And there's a lot of things I don't want to get into too much detail about because, like I said, I've already dealt with that before. But I have a lot of plans on how to rebuild said neighborhoods without having to gentrify them. And kicking people out of their
important.
Homes.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and like I said, you talk to these people, they don't want to hear it. Or 4 weeks ago, a local community wanted to talk to me about things, but wanted me to pay to hear them talk in a meeting on Zoom. You wanted me to pay to hear your plans on Zoom. Nah.
Okay.
Nah. No, that's not how it works. You don't pay to hear plans. That's crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. People want to be paid for their ideas. Who doesn't? All right. But you can't charge people per person on your Zoom call on how that's going to work. That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely.
Wow.
It's out of line. So I have a lot on the sports end, and I keep telling people, like, it's almost like I got to put a signal up for the fucking Avengers to come. If you're already in said positions that can change things, why are you not linking up with other people to make this stronger? I don't understand.
There's money in struggle.
I just don't understand.
Follow the money.
I don't understand it. Money. It's like you're doing your thing, cool, but this can be bigger. And I think that's the biggest problem I've had so far with a lot of people. I can see the potential in what they're doing, but I never get that back in reciprocation. And that is where I tend to distance myself from people. And so it's like, hey, if I'm going to, I would like help, and people to be involved. But if you can't understand the vision that I have, well, then there's no reason for us to talk. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't about me getting big. This is about saving lives right now. If you're not, as they say, get down or lay down. You get in line or you don't. You know what I mean? And it's really a bothersome thing. This is something I deal with every day. Like tomorrow, I'm going to have to go into the gym and I'm going to have to hear people. And that's the thing, my fighters, I have to hear the woes about how they live, and how bad things are. And and this is their only haven. Well, what if all the bags break? What if the
Think
ring
about it.
falls off?
Violence is their only haven.
Yep.
If you think about it,
Yep.
they feel more home, safe, wanted, and welcome in a place where literally you're teaching people
to punch each other.
To punch each other.
Yep. They feel safer there than at home. And these are kids. 16, 17 years old. Kids. That should tell you something. So, I mean, it's a hard thing to deal with, but it's a consistent thing you have to deal with. So by the time I get home, I'm like, man, these motherfuckers, man. I can't like you really.
Yeah. Your brain is like fried
done.
from solving everybody else's problems. And,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I gotta solve mine too.
Yeah, now I gotta solve mine. Exactly.
And you know what? It is so funny. I feel bad following up what you just said with what I'm about to say, but
what?
Listen, like when I started to do this thing, I knew that some things I say would ruffle some people's feathers, and some people wouldn't like necessarily my style of what's the way I go about things.
Yeah.
But the one thing I always said was I'm coming from a place of experience and helping and being in my community and wanting legit change and want to use my platform for legit change.
Yeah.
Now, this whole, and y'all may not know him, I know y'all don't know him, but I don't care. Kyle Meagher thing. I got a phone call from somebody who I respect and care about a lot, and he was like, yo, do you not realize the opportunity you have in front of you, and you're pretty much arguing with a nobody that's trying to leech off your name and your platform? And at first I was like, but I got to do me. But then I was trying to think that when you're moving in different circles, you can't bring everybody with you, and not just everybody that means you well, but everybody that means you harm too.
Yeah.
And this guy has nothing going for him. His podcast is shitty. His life is shitty. He's shitty. So, he proceeds to make a tweet about my family saying he hopes I die from the vaccine, and don't forget to kiss the family goodbye. And at first, it was like, okay, let me get a plane ticket. But then it was like, you know what? That's not it, because I just had a whole news broadcast do a special on me. I got a meeting tomorrow that's so huge, like I can't believe it's happening tomorrow, but I'm holding it in. Hopefully I'll be able to announce it tomorrow. I got that going on. So why am I bothering with irrelevance? But I will say this. You, like we said at the beginning of the show, you don't know people.
Yeah.
You don't know their reactions.
Yeah.
You don't know people hitting me up and saying, just say the word. You don't know.
You don't know.
You
Exactly.
don't know.
You don't.
So remember, this is the internet, but there's human beings on the other side of the internet. And some people aren't wired correctly. And I'm medically diagnosed to be not wired correctly.
And here's the thing. If people really wanted to fight, something would have been said by now. You and him have been going at this for what? Weeks? Months, maybe? I mean,
I don't know how long.
Yeah, exactly. And not one date has been made. Not one place has been agreed upon. You know what I mean? Like,
not on his end, anyway.
Yeah, on his end. So, as far as I'm concerned, that just tells you right there, there's no fight to be had. There's not going to be a fight because no one's trying to make plans to really get it done. I would even say put some incentive. Y'all both go half on a title maybe. And maybe that would be some incentive. But
I even said charity. Like we could go to gym, we could donate to each other's favorite charity, whatever it is. But then I realized, like you said, when somebody is making excuses, they ain't about that life.
That's all it is.
And I'm not about to force that life upon them because I got bigger shit to do. I got bigger shit in store. I got a bigger responsibility than what he has. So I'm not going to bother with that. And like I told people, this is the end of it. I won't say shit else about it. Like y'all could go ahead about it, but Real Time with Prince Blue and Black and Blue Lives is on to something bigger, and I just wanted to put that out there. And that's all I got to say about that turd. But well, it is what it is, man.
I mean, yeah, you have to think. Over the years, he's said some things about people, and I eventually I was going to come cross paths eventually. But like I said, nothing has ever come from any of this. Nothing. So are you wasting your time, or is something going to happen? And like I said, if there was going to be a fight that was happening, fighters fight. That's what they do. Meet me here. Let's do this here. That's it. Bottom line. There's no more talk.
Temecula.
You know what I mean? That's how it is. Fighters fight. If you're still sitting and ho-humming, or I'm going to make a video in response to such and such and talk, that's wasted time. You know what I mean? Then it tells me that it really isn't going anywhere. So when I saw the argument back and forth, I was just like, all right, well, it's not really going nowhere. If it was, something would have happened already. So it's time for everybody to pretty much move on. And of course, he's probably going to still take his shots. I mean, he's going to take his shots at you. He's probably going to take his shots at a number of people. But if you ignore him, that's it. That's the end.
Batman him. He's like a hood on the street that's like doing illegal rat selling. Like, I ain't worried about that. I'm going to take care of the Joker. The Joker about to release gas on Gotham.
On the whole street,
yeah. I'm about to go over here. I ain't worried about your illegal hamster ring. I'm good. I'm gonna go take care of this. I'll send Drake. Go. No matter of fact, Red Hood, go take care of that. Deal with it. Yeah, I'm about to deal with the Joker. Yeah. But big bro, man, I appreciate this, man. This has been fun, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, and let everybody know about your podcast, man.
Well, as you know, we do the Event Omega podcast every 2 weeks because we just put it that way, to give people time to catch up on episodes since they're so damn long. Y'all can reach me at Main Event TV _AKA. And the crew, I'm sure they're in the chat. They're always around. We're always easy to find. We're always trying to have fun. And look, people are always saying, ignore it, man. Yeah, I put it like this. If these people have been around for this long and they still haven't done anything, they're not going to do anything. That's always how it's going to be. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't lose any sleep over it. Don't look. I pulled that back in the day when he's go kiss the wife for me or whatever. I've done that to people before, and they got them all upset and riled up, and I was like, so when you want to meet up then? And nothing came from it. You know what I mean? They wanted to make X amount of videos still arguing. No, I don't want to argue anymore. When do you want to meet up? Oh, I'm gonna have someone else on the phone talking to you. When do you want to meet up? It's the same thing over and over. I've learned that years ago that people don't want to do that. And if they really want to do it, you're not that hard to find. You're not that hard to contact. I don't see why it couldn't be done. You know what I mean? So,
what? Real quick, bro, why I got your phone. You're also a huge football guy, not football Americana, football.
Oh, yeah. So football overseas, okay.
I want you to tell me, I want to test something. When I show you the symbol, tell me what it is.
Man, go somewhere with that, man. Go somewhere with that, man. Go somewhere with that, man. I'm not going to dignify that one. No. See, it's been a good day up till now. And you do this. You see?
Bro, what is it?
Come on, man. I'm not. No. You're not trapped. This is a honey trap right now. You're not. No.
Hey, Ben. Tell Ben.
Ben's gonna have a stroke if he sees that. All right. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. See, okay, that's your gotcha for today. Hey, you got me on that one.
Batman would have been prepared.
Yeah, this is the second time now y'all that got me today on something. This is the second time. See, I'm gonna leave that alone. Mm-hmm. See, y'all try to get me. Okay.
Look, Naruto fan, come on, man.
You're in trouble. See, I told you he was watching. I told you. You don't want to hear it. I told you. It didn't take long, did it? Did not take long.
Hey, I'm just a sneaker guy. I saw Paris Saint-Germain, and I said, why not? But man,
Saint Germain on Nike. I'm thinking myself, I ain't at the Puma store. I'm just saying. But okay.
Oh man, but I
Oh,
appreciate everybody for joining me,
yeah,
man. Thank you.
yeah,
Find me at Real Prince Blue on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Black and Blue Lives every Wednesday at 8 o'clock with my
yeah.
boy Step.
Yes, please tune into
Um,
that. That's a very important show. Please tune into that, people. Come on now.
Thank you, big bro. I
Support them. Come on.
appreciate that. Got a lot of stuff coming up. Like I said, tomorrow's a huge meeting. Like I don't want to jinx it, so I'll
Don't say
let
anything.
y'all
Yeah,
know as soon as it's over.
yeah,
But man, thank you everybody for joining me. Big bro, you know always it's all
yeah.
love when
It's
you
always
step
good.
on with me and help me out, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You're my clarity sometimes in this chaotic world, and I appreciate it.
Well, then who's my clarity?
Everybody,
I need clarity. Clarity.
you want to know who your clarity
No,
is?
no, that's not my clarity. No, don't throw it again. No, that's not my clarity. Come on, man. That's not my clarity. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Now
But
I got
thank
20
you.
points.
But thank you everybody for joining us, man. I'll get back at you, man. More to come. Please be safe. Make sure you check on somebody, and remember, mental health is important. Make sure you check on yourself and others. And as always, just do the right thing, and good things will happen to you. All right. I'll catch y'all later.
Y'all take